Hello and welcome back to the Happy Accidental Gardener channel. My name is Estelle. I am your Happy Accidental Gardener. If you've never been here before, welcome. If you have been here before, welcome back. Today we will be tackling rescuing cast iron grill grates. And I know you're probably wondering what a grill grate or a grill in general has to do with gardening. Well, it's summertime and we're outside and we're growing so many delicious things that can be put on the grill: squash, zucchini, peaches, watermelon. And if you're going to be doing a lot of cooking outside, whether it's things you've grown or various meats, whatever you're going to put on the grill, you want to make sure your grill grates are clean when you do that. And that is the local neighborhood trash truck totally messing up my shoot, which was going well until this point. Let's get started. We're going to look at how to get this rusty, crusty looking grill grate back to its original splendor. No one wants any of this in their food on the grill. So we're going to turn this into something gorgeous. We can get that rusty grill grate looking like this: clean, smooth, well seasoned, building up a non-stick or practically non-stick coating for your food on the grill. And yes, it will take a little bit of time and a little bit of elbow grease, but the results are definitely worth it. You can see that for yourself. You can see I have all three racks. There's one under there. Yeah, all three racks in this 12 by 18 cake pan. It is the pan in my house that fits racks easily. If you have a tote or a plastic container or a roasting pan or any other type of pan that's non-reactive with vinegar, you can absolutely use that for this process. For me, it's this pan that fits all of the racks easily. Now I have all three racks submerged in vinegar. I think you can see the line here. All three racks are completely covered, which is what you want because you want the rust coming in contact with the vinegar. That is what will help loosen and remove it. I am just using the basic jug, the basic 5% acidity. There we go. You can see that, I think. The basic 5% acidity white distilled vinegar from my local grocery store. The big box stores, the hardware stores will sell you a 30% vinegar, but you'll probably end up diluting that down. So buying the jugs, just as good. You just want to keep it covered. I'll leave this here for about 24 hours and then come back and see how well it's done. What I wanted you to see is the grates in the vinegar. The vinegar is actually starting to take on a little bit of that rust color. As it breaks it down, it's starting to look a little foamy from the interaction. This is about, I want to say 16 hours in. So we definitely have more time to leave this in. I would suggest 24 hours if you have a heavy rust issue, or like I do, more than one piece. You can certainly leave it in longer than that, which I will probably end up doing because leaving it in longer means less scrubbing for me. These grates have been sitting in household vinegar for a little over 2 days now. You can actually see that the vinegar itself is darker, much darker than when we started. Of course, it was clear then, and a lot of the rust has just been removed by the vinegar, so the vinegar is a lot darker, and you can see, especially on this top rack, a lot of the rust has just come off by itself. So hopefully that will mean a lot less scrubbing. Now, this has been in my kitchen because I didn't have a way to secure the top, so I didn't want to put it outside. But now I'm going to take these grates outside, scrub them down, hose them off, and we'll see what we've got going. These are the grill grates that I had inside. I've just poured off some of that crusty vinegar, but you can see A lot of the rust that was on these individual slats has just come off. Some of that thicker rust and crust is still here, but it'll be easy. You can almost rub it off with your fingers. We won't be doing that. That'll take way too long. But it'll be easier to remove the rust that's still there, and then I can show you the next steps. Now this is the elbow grease portion of the program. We've already done the soaking. Now we're going to do the scrubbing. You need a stainless steel scrubber or steel wool, not Brillo, because that has soap embedded. You can definitely buy this at the local big box store. You might even be able to find them at your supermarket. I will include a link in the description. They come in a 3-pack, which is super convenient because after you use it, they start to look like this. So you're gonna wanna use the best ones you can and throw them away when you're done. This is the one that just came out of the vinegar. As you can see, there's still rust and crust and bits on there. And this is the one that I was scrubbing. You can just see all the rust is gone. It's a lot more smooth. And then once it's rinsed off, any residual bits will come off and it will be ready to be seasoned. One of the best parts about doing this outside is that cleanup is tons easier. Here we have the 3 grill grates that we started scrubbing. As you can see, they look a lot better than they did when we started. Now you can see a little rust forming again here. That's because oxidation is fast. They are wet, we're outside. So I am going to go over all 3 of them again. This is the one with the most rust forming because it was the one sitting the longest. I will go over all 3 of these again, rinse them completely, and then pop them in a 200-degree oven for about a half an hour just to make sure all of the moisture is driven off. Okay, those were the first few steps of saving a cast iron grill grate. That was the soaking, the scrubbing, the rinsing, and now they're drying off. And while they're drying off, I'm going to spend a little time in the actual vegetable garden doing some harvesting, maybe some pruning, checking on what's going on. This is today's garden harvest. We've got 4 ears of corn. We've got peppers, tomatoes, green beans, a couple of cucumbers. We've got a zucchini in there. And this darling yellow squash is actually supposed to be round. It's a lemon squash. It's supposed to taste just like yellow squash. I probably could have let it get a little bit bigger, but it was so cute. I just had to harvest it. It was so cute. And now that the grates have been soaked, scrubbed, washed, and dried, it is time to apply the oil for seasoning. I am using vegetable shortening. You can use another oil like canola or flaxseed. I just prefer vegetable shortening because it is cheap and plentiful. Now, while you're doing this step, you will see some of the coloring come off on your paper towel or your dishcloth. And that's fine. That's perfectly normal. It's part of the process. And what you really want to do is get that oil, in my case shortening, all over the grate. You want to get it all in the spaces. You want to get it in all of the corners. You want to make sure that all of the grate is completely covered in oil. And it is okay if you do use a little too much, because we will be wiping off the excess before we put it in the oven to do the last part of the seasoning step. It does help that in this case, the grate is just coming out of that 200-degree oven, because the shortening is melting and making it easier to spread. And like I said, you just want to make sure that you get it all over absolutely everything. Now I'm just going to flip that grill grate over and make sure the side that is down toward the coals when it's on the grill is actually well coated as well. Again, just using a paper towel and making sure that the shortening is rubbed onto every surface and in every nook and cranny. Here you can see I'm even using my fingers a little bit to make sure that I am getting the shortening into all of those shoulder spaces, all of the spaces between the slats, to make sure that when I put it in the oven, it is properly seasoned. And the last step before putting the grate in the oven is to just wipe off any excess shortening. You would do the same thing if you were using canola oil or flaxseed or any other oil. You would just wipe off any extra so there are no drips while it's in the oven. Also, if you leave the excess on there, the surface, instead of kind of bonding and becoming a non-stick surface, will become kind of tacky and gummy, and we certainly don't want that either. After wiping off the excess, the cast iron grill grate is ready to go into the oven. Now, I did do this for all three, but you really just needed to see one to understand how the whole process works. Once the grill grates were oiled and wiped, I did put them in a cold oven and set that oven to 500 degrees. Now, I did put foil down the bottom to catch any drips or runoff there may have been. Once the oven reaches temperature, set your timer for 1 hour, and then once the timer goes off, turn off your oven and let everything inside reach room temperature. And voila, your grill grates have been rescued and they are now well seasoned. If you want to make sure that they're really done well, do a second coat of oil and a second trip through the oven. And once the oven has cooled down and you're able to pull out those grill grates, this is what you'll see: a clean, smooth, seasoned, usable grill grate. We started rusty crusty, now we're here. Something that anybody would be proud to use on their grill. I wouldn't mind putting my food on that. I am actually going to go through the seasoning process a second time, but I am actually going to do it on the grill. So the next time I cook out, before I get ready to put the food on, I'm going to heat up those charcoals, put the 4 grill grates in, get the grill really hot, close the lid, let it get up to 500 degrees or so, and then let it cool all the way down for that second seasoning and that extra layer of protection. And that is it for today. We got our grill grate seasoned, harvested some great stuff from the garden, even harvested some corn. I can't believe I forgot to mention putting corn on the grill. Corn is awesome on the grill. I do want to point out that this method, using vinegar and a stainless steel scrub pad, can be used for stainless steel frying pans, Dutch ovens, griddles. Any piece of stainless steel cookware that you are trying to recover can definitely use this method. And if it's just light rust, you don't even have to soak it at all. You can just put the vinegar in a spray bottle and use that stainless steel scouring pad, and then use the seasoning method, and you will bring that cast iron back to life. So if you happen to find any good cast iron that's not cracked or chipped in flea markets or estate sales or yard sales, definitely buy it, because cast iron that is well taken care of will last you a lifetime. As always, if you like what you see, hit that like button, hit subscribe, smash the notification bell so you know when I have new content. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you around the garden.